Hello everyone, welcome back to another story. Today we are doing how Rhino got his baggy skin, and this is another African story. It's a folklore story. Okay, let's start. How Rhino got his baggy skin. Long ago in Africa, the rhino looked rather different to the animal we see today. He was still one of the larger creatures that lived in the wild, but his skin fitted perfectly, and it was all silky and pink. His beautiful horns were the same size, and they sat very neatly on either side of his head. Excuse me. Rhino was very proud of his looks, and was quick to boast and compare himself to the other animals of Africa. Elephant, he would jeer, your skin is so wrinkly, and the color is so dull. And why do your horns seem so growing from the side of your mouth? Elephant would trumpet in anger and chase after the rhino, yelling at him not to be so vain. The rhino also mocked zebra. Those stripes of yours make me feel quite dizzy, he would sigh. Whenever I see them, I feel the need to go and lie down. Zebra would snort and stomp his hoofs with irritation, but Rhino would simply laugh and trot away. Rhino would even criticize the animals that he was afraid of. He was just careful not to laugh. Lion, old friend, he would say, isn't your mane rather big and furry? I'm quite sure you must be awfully hot under all that hair. Lion would growl moodily and tell him to mind his own business. There wasn't a creature in the land that escaped Rhino's hurtful remarks. Giraffe, your neck is too long. Tortoise, what is it about your shell? Baboon, your bottom is naked. Monkey, your long tail is just plain silly. And as for you, warthog, he would sneer, you must be the ugliest of all the animals in Africa. The animals grumbled amongst themselves and tired of Rhino's rudeness. One day, we will pay Rhino back for every unkind word he has spoken, they said to each other. And then we will see who will be laughing. And that day would eventually come. It was the hottest day Africa had ever known. The sun shone down so harshly that the animals could barely breathe. Some of them lay in the shade of the trees. Others plunged themselves into a cool river on a muddy pool. But as the day grew longer and grew hotter and hotter still, eventually the animals started to take their coats, their skins and horns off, leaving them on the riverbank or beside the muddy pools. As the sun began to set, the creatures began to leave the shade of the water. They found their skins and dressed again carefully. At last, the skin that remained beside the muddy pool was that of Rhino. He was still in the pool, dark with mud, and was fallen fast asleep. This is our opportunity, whispered Elephant. I have a plan, grunted Warthog. And so all the animals gathered around to hear what they should do. And then quickly, and ever so quickly, they set to work. They carried Rhino's silky pink skin to another muddy puddle and dunked it in completely. Then elephant, lion, and crocodile had a tug of war with the dirty skin and stretched it as far as they could. Oh my word. When it was double the size and all out of shape, some of the other animals began stomping on it and scratching it with horns. Monkey, in the meantime, had taken one of the horns and had ground it down on a rock until it was half the size of the other. At last, Rhino woke. Stumbling out of the pool, his eyes half blinded by the mud, he tried to put his coat back on. I can't see properly, he complained, and my skin just doesn't seem to fit right. Let us help you, offered some of the animals. Oh, moaned Rhino as he prodded and pulled and fastened his skin around him. And when it was done, Monkey plonked the two horns back on his head, but not on the sides, the long one in the middle of his snout and the short one just behind it. Then the animals stood back to see what the rhino looked like. And what a sight to see! His skin was all grey and scratched, and it hung with baggy folds round his body. And how funny did those two odd horns look in the middle of his forehead. The animals laughed and laughed, and Rhino, whose eyesight was still not good, became more and more angry. Why are you laughing at me? He demanded. Your skin is dull and baggy, and your horns are in between your eyes, they laughed. Shaking his body, he felt the loose skin around him and peered at his nose. He could just see the ridiculous position of his horns. He could not contain his humiliation, and he charged at the animals in a terrible rage. Angry Rhino chased them far and wide in his ill-fitting skin. And to this day, Rhino has his baggy grey skin, poor eyesight, and his two odd horns in the middle of his forehead. He often in a very bad mood and can be seen chasing the other African animals that annoy him. And that is the end of the story. Yeah, good lesson, eh? It's not good to tease other people, because when they tease you, you won't like it. And that is the story of Rhino, how Rhino got his baggy skin and how Rhino learned his lesson. Goodbye, friends, till next time. I hope you enjoyed the story. Bye-bye.